Hey, how you doing, Tiny?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm
I just
doing
realized it's not the
good.
first time you're hearing my voice.
Yeah, it's actually kind of well. That's the thing. Like when it comes to these, it's interesting because I sometimes don't know what people sound like, and like most people know what I sound like because obviously I do videos and all that kind of stuff. But like when it comes to artists, you don't actually hear them that often. Obviously, if they stream and stuff or make videos with their own voice, you do. But majority of the time, you don't actually know the voice to the person.
Yeah, that's wild to think about. I'm like thinking about all the artists I follow and how I only know like five of their voices.
I'm trying to think. You pointed that out. Like that's made me think how many people, how many of the artists I know, I've heard their voices. It's like with Floating Megani, where I heard their speaking voice in a video about once, but you don't know when you're making a video if it's are they putting that voice on? Are they are they being real with
Yeah.
it? So you don't know, but yeah, it's weird. It's a nice experience to be fair though, because hearing other people's voices is nice. It gives it a bit more personality. You know, you get it gets added. But how are you? How are you doing? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Just started my first year of college in art school, so that's been
Oh,
interesting.
that's great. What are you studying?
Illustration.
Nice. How you finding it? How long's the course and everything?
So it's a 4-year course. Most things in the USR, I don't know about how it is where you are, but it's been really good so far. The first semester is just like foundations courses in every form of art that they can give, like 3D, 4D, which is time-based media, drawing, painting, stuff like that. Just so no matter what you do, you're more well-rounded,
Nice. That's good.
which is good. But I'm also suffering because some of the stuff I just don't like to do.
Like what?
Acrylic paint, I hate it.
What?
It
Why?
dries so
Why I say?
fast.
Why is that? Yeah. Is it just awkward to work with or?
Personally for me, yeah, just because I'm used to watercolor, which is a very like transparent medium. But with
Mm.
acrylic, like it dries so fast and it dries darker than when you mix the color, so you have to account for that. And,
Ah. Okay.
and
It's the thing. Like you're gonna be so far ahead with the education of art and everything. So you'll be saying like acrylic paint and all these. Again, acrylic paint is basically the amount of paint I know. So you're gonna say like certain different what's the word, media, different whatever it want.
medium.
Yeah, and I'll just sit there and go, yep, yep. I don't know what you're talking about, but I it's good to listen to.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
Sounds like you know what you're saying.
this is the thing. You guys who are artists, you could say anything to me, and I would just think that's true. I wouldn't know.
That's the dangerous thing, though, because then you get artists who get really inflated about stuff like, oh, these plebs don't know what I'm saying, so if I just make something and make it sound good, I'll get paid.
Yeah, that's that. A lot of people do use vocabulary as a form of trying to put across their intelligence. So when someone's, let's say, talking to you or coach for me coaching, and you hear them using really long words, it's like, are you using those words to help that person, or are you using those words to make yourself sound good? And for me, it's like, just keep it simple as much as you can, or else, or like if you're gonna use uh, bigger words, make sure you break them down afterwards and not expect everyone to get it.
Yeah, that's why this is completely off topic, but I loved reading Series of Unfortunate Events as a kid because every time there was a big word, they were like, which also means.
I've only watched a TV show and I did not like it.
Oh, I have not seen the TV show. I saw like the first 10 minutes of the first episode,
Hmm.
and I don't even remember what happened. But the books, I don't know now as an adult because it's probably the nostalgia thing, but the books as a kid, I loved them dearly. And I still have all of them.
In the majority of the time, it's like that, or isn't it? Where the books are always better. That's such a cliche thing to say, but it is true. With it, sorry, a series of unfortunate events. I don't think I even said that correctly then. Anyway,
No, you
um,
did.
I just felt like I stumbled all my words then for a second. But when it came to, I think I watched. yeah, I watched the TV series first, and then I watched a movie with Jim Carrey because in this TV series it's Neil Patrick Harris, and he's the reason why I wanted to watch it because Neil Patrick Harris is really like I really like him as an
He's a
actor.
godsend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And well, the first thing I ever watched him in was Starship Troopers, and that's like some of the worst acting ever, but it's such a good movie. I love Starship Troopers. But yeah, so I watched the TV show and I thought, well, this kind of sucks. So I thought, okay, well, let's check out the movie, and the movie is better than the TV show. And Jim Carrey's portrayal of that character is so good, and yeah, Jim Carrey's just good at everything.
He really is. But yeah, the weird thing about the movie though is I think it combines like the first three books together, if
Okay,
I recall correctly, when there's 13 books in the series. So
13.
it takes those first three and then, yeah, 13. Takes those first three, shoves them all together, and ties it up in a pretty bow, and then that's kind of it. And you're like, but what about everyone else?
Oh,
What about the triplets?
oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that was the case. I didn't know. I actually just thought that the movie was the book and that was it. I didn't know that it was. So what should have been like? Is it like a Lord of the Rings kind of thing where we need like, or Harry Potter actually more than anything, isn't it? If you're thinking about it like that.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know. And you've read them all.
Uh, this is gonna sound like I'm a fake fan, but I actually technically haven't
Okay.
because I found the books when I was in like fourth grade, and I
Yeah.
started on the eighth book because that's what my teacher had in the room. And I was
Oh.
like, oh, this looks interesting. And then I'm like, okay, why are they in a hospital? What's happening? And so, and so I got the first book, and I went on, and then I like caught up to the eighth book.
Uh huh.
Never finished the ninth or the 10th. Somehow swamped through the last few. I
Oh,
don't know.
that's super random. That's such
Yeah,
a.
I've never read books like that before. It's specifically the series. I really need to read those two books.
Actually, I just thought about what I can relate that to because do you know the Dukes at all? I don't know if you do.
Yeah.
So he's just. Oh no, is it Dukes I'm thinking of? I think it is. Yeah, I believe it is. He just started playing Silent Hill 2, and it was this week for the charity stream, and
Yeah, it's not about that.
yeah, and he explained to me that he's not the only one he's ever played is Silent Hill Homecoming, and it is so bad compared to every other. It's the worst Silent Hill game, and I just remember thinking to myself like, I don't know if he enjoyed it or not, but I just thought to myself, wow, you're missing so much of Silent Hill by my not playing the first or second one, like because I think if you play the later games, you you're playing it and you because you don't understand the context of let's say scenarios or the enemies or why this enemy is designed like that, you miss part of the game. Like Silent Hill Homecoming relies on knowledge of Silent Hill 1 and 2. Not to complete the game, but to kind of understand what creatures are and why they are there.
Yeah, world building.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what you need to do sometimes. Like play the first one, and then figure out from there. Because I don't know. Sometimes if you just jump in halfway into a series, it's like, oh, okay, well, nothing's been established right now.
Yeah, that's the danger in like any established series that some people will just jump in haphazardly and then they're like, "Oh, this sucks. Why are so many people caring about this?" And it's like it's because you didn't go through all the other stuff that people went through to enjoy the series.
Totally.
Which like sometimes you jump in halfway like I did and it turns out good and you actually really like it and that's great and that's a valid way to find out about stuff. Not
Yeah,
trying to discredit that, but so sometimes you just gotta wade through it at first to like really appreciate the thing, and sometimes you don't want to, and that's fine. But sometimes you do, and you're like, "Wow, I'm glad I did it because this is rad."
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've watched Game of Thrones. 'Cause most people
I haven't seen it.
most people have, but
I've seen like 3 minutes of it. But
it's
go on.
it's interesting because like people have that idea of jumping into it as well. Like what you said, they'll jump into the mid seasons of Game of Thrones. It's like, oh, okay, I don't get it. Or it's they catch the middle of the series, let's say, they want to try it, but because nothing's happening in the first few episodes, we're like, oh, well, this is okay, but it's kind of easy to miss. It doesn't hook you straight away. The only this is the thing. I'm gonna ask you this as well, but like my favorite TV show is Breaking Bad. It's strong all the way through it from start to finish. It's the perfect TV show, and Game of Thrones would have been there if the last season wasn't so trash. It kind of ruined it. So then my frustration for Game of Thrones last season made me realize, oh wait, I completely forgot about how good Breaking Bad is. Oh, have you watched Breaking Bad at all?
I have not. There's a lot of popular TV shows I haven't watched. I haven't watched those. I haven't watched Stranger Things. I'm kind of
Damn.
the only show I've really binged recently was Good Omens because it was all over Twitter and I was really curious because I was like, there's a gay demon and an angel.
Hmm.
Gay, I'm in. That's about my interest level.
It's interesting. I think I said this like 3 times during the podcast, but I'm not the biggest fan of Good Omens. I'm okay with it, but I don't know. Aziraphale and Crowley, I adore them as characters, but everything surrounding them, I just didn't really like. I just didn't really get. I didn't really like many of the characters, or the love stories, or any of the other stories in the show. I was like,
I
it's
could definitely see that. The whole thing with it's good. It's good voting when you can't remember the characters' names that well. And
exactly.
I think their names are. Their relationship was weird. I could see what they were going for, but it was weird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was too quick. It was too cheesy. There was no like, there was no groundedness, if you would,
Yeah, I
to
think
it.
the thing, like, they spent so much time building all up between Aziraphale and Crowley, and that's why their relationship is so great, is because we have so much context with them,
Totally.
like, dating back literal centuries. But with the other characters, it's so rushed.
It always what was their event from meeting each other to being with each other. Did that happen in a day? Was it like a 24 hour? It might have been. Was it? It might have been a
It,
day or two
it was
days.
like, yeah, it was about 2 days
Like,
at best.
I,
I
I,
think it was
and I just looked at it, I was
uh,
like, wait, what are you on about? This isn't a Disney movie. Like, Disney movie's like, oh yeah, say the princess and then you're with them forever. It's like, that's that's not right. It's supposed to be kind of, I know it's a fantasy show, but I need it to be kind of realistic as well, so then I can attach to it.
especially with how realistic again Aziraphale and Crowley were. Like I know they're the
Mm,
main character. Well, yeah, they're the main characters, and that's why they got so much build up. But like, I love series when they can spread that around, like all throughout the characters. Like this is completely out of left field, but with Sailor Moon, the
go on, go on, go on, go on, keep going.
so in the manga they do not. I love the series to death. In the manga, they do not build up the Sailor Scouts like they did in the like 80s 90s anime. They had like so much backstory for all the other Sailor Scouts. Sailor Mercury got a boyfriend. Sailor Jupiter likes cooking, and none of this is expanded upon in the manga or the new anime. And that's why I love the old ones so much because it brings the love to all the Sailor Scouts instead of just Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask's relationship.
You know what's really weird about this is
What?
I was in I went to another city with Emily and Emily's sister and mother, and we walked into a place called Forbidden Planet. It's basically like not pop culture, but like comics and anime and manga and stuff like that. And weirdly enough, I was looking at Sailor Moon. I was like, I really need to get into this series. Like, I've heard so many good things about it. So it's weird that you actually. That's really strange. That's how it works sometimes, where you'll be thinking about something and all of a sudden someone mention it. You're like, hang on a second, what's going on there? It's weird, but I don't know. Sailor Moon is definitely an anime I want to watch. Is there any other
Yeah.
animes you're into then?
Uh, I'll answer your question in a sec. Just a warning with Sailor Moon, it is very much like an 80s kids cartoon where it's like a very rinse, wash, and repeat with some really ham-fisted messages in there. But
Totally fine.
you might enjoy it. But anime I've been into throughout the years.
Mm.
Actually, I was just thinking about one that I watched years ago that came to mind literally just yesterday was Angel Beats. Dude,
Angel
that show
beads.
fucked me up.
What's
It's
angel
about
beads?
it's about these high school kids who have died and they're in this weird almost purgatory because they haven't come to terms with the fact that the circumstances of their death. And
Okay.
so it's them like wading through and trying to remember why they died because when they get to this place, they don't remember why. So they have to regain those memories and then come to peace with it.
Did you say angel beats?
Hmm.
Okay, hang on a second. I can bring it up on the screen now. Um, their eyes are so cute. Holy
It
hell.
is very cute.
It's got pretty good ratings, to be fair, for an anime. Like, most of the time on IMDb and stuff, they get rinsed. They get destroyed most of the time.
Yeah, I
Um,
honestly don't remember a lot of it, but just because my memory is terrible. But
mhm.
what I remember, just there's some really good storylines there. Mm.
There's there's so
Plus
many
the music's
animes out
good.
there. It's like, for example, I've never heard this one before. I'll go through Crunchyroll, or yeah, because Crunchyroll is the legal way of watching it, I guess. But like, and there's so many animes out there where I, I don't know how people could like sit down and watch all of them. It's just
It's
constant.
impossible.
It's impossible.
I only happened to find that because I was like scrolling through Netflix at one point when I was in middle school, and I was like, "Oh, this one has cute art." Because
Mm.
again, that's what gets me. It's either gay stuff or cute art. That's all I need.
As long as it's gay or cute, or gay and cute, you're in.
That's the best combo.
What's the epitome of gay and cute then for a show?
I mean, going back to Sailor Moon.
Mhm.
I mean, Uranus and Neptune. Mm.
It's good. I definitely need to watch it. What was it? Tuxedo Mask, did you say?
Yeah, he's the main. I was gonna say bad boy, but he's not a bad boy. He kind of doesn't do a lot for a lot of the show.
Isn't that the
You know?
meme though? Isn't that the whole point of him? Like he just shows up and that meme, isn't it? Where it's like, my work here is
Yeah.
done, and she's like, you didn't do anything, and he just he just wipes away. Oh,
Yeah, like he'll chuck a rose at somebody and then yeet the fuck out.
that's so good. Oh, I like that.
The show, it's like, because it's so old. Well, it's not that old. I don't want to like call people old for watching it, but like it's so dated that it's so funny to watch now. Like, uh, do you care about spoilers? Since I don't
For
know.
Sailor Moon,
Yeah.
here's the thing about me hearing spoilers. Majority of the time when I hear them, I'm like, oh damn, you spoiled it. But then after about a day, I completely forget the spoiler. Anyway,
Me
so
too.
like have you ever have you ever had a friend who's like they're about to tell you a secret, but we go, oh, don't tell anyone of this or keep this to yourself. And I know all I do is look at it and go, okay, two things. One, my memory isn't that good, so you'll say it and it'll probably evaporate from my memory after 2 hours. Two, oh, what's the second one? Oh yeah, two. Who would I tell? I have no one to speak
That's
to about it.
exactly what I'm like. Like I have my three friends and my 3 day memory. You're good.
It's kind of nuts, really, when it comes to that kind of thing. The first
But
episode
yeah.
was 1996.
Okay, so it's not as old as I thought it was. I
Oh,
thought it
no,
was like
yeah,
late
1995.
80s.
Yeah, look, well, apparently it's 1996. Season one, 1995. 1995. Well, it says. Wait. Oh. Hang on. I'll start from the top. It is. Wait, is it? I don't know. But yeah, 1995 is the release date. That's not that old. It's younger than
Yeah.
me.
I mean, it's older than me,
Damn
so
it. Go on, you can talk about the spoilers. Just we'll like let's say people if you don't want spoilers on an anime what's over 20 years old, then skip a couple of minutes ahead.
yeah. Basically, so this is the spoilers for like the end of the first arc, I guess, with the first villain.
Hmm.
It's so funny to me because this villain was like out of nowhere just completely sexist to the girls, like, "Oh, you Earth women are so pathetic and weak, and you need a man to help you,"
Oh
and they're like,
no.
"No." girls are strong and independent, and we're gonna show you what we got. And then they hit him with a fucking airplane.
Aw, that's so cute.
They hit him with an airplane.
An airplane.
An airplane.
What?
Like they weren't.
I gotta find it. I will find it.
Oh my god.
So what happens? Then they just have an airplane to take it out.
No, so he's like psychically controlling them, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and he's making them follow the girls, but somehow he messes up because he's distracted and is sexist monologuing and ends up like tricking himself into getting chased by it or something.
What was the guy? Blonde haired.
Yes,
Yellow head.
that's
Okay, I see the image.
Right,
Yeah,
his name is.
I see the image of it. It's just a still image of him like popping his hands out, running away from the plane what's heading towards him. But he's running. Is he running away from it? He is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so funny to me because I somehow just completely forgot in the like years that I've seen it that he got hit by an airplane.
God, that's so hardcore. This is the thing. Like with I don't know obviously how if it goes dark or anything like that, but most people when we get into anime, it's and I say most people, including myself. Most people get into anime with the darker stuff, as in like they get into it because of Attack on Titan, they get into it because of Tokyo Ghoul, and it's like it's good because it's dark stuff. Whereas Sailor Moon, it's like, yeah, it's so great.
So fluffy and cute and pretty girls, and then someone gets yeeted by an airplane.
Oh, it's so great. I genuinely need to watch Sailor Moon. I think I tried to. Yeah, you know what? It was one of those where I put the anime on the TV and I sat down to watch it, and then I think we had guests over, so and it was friends who weren't really my friends, so it was like, oh, they're going to talk about their stuff. I'm just going to be doing my own thing. So I was watching it, but because they kept talking over it, I'm like, I can't get into this. I can't get into this show when people are talking or hear people talking. It's like if I'm watching a movie or anything, and then the person you're watching with starts talking during it. It really annoys me. It's one of my pet peeves, I believe, because I'm like, I want to hear the dialogue. I want to listen to what this person's saying, or I'll have to rewind it and play it again, which is really annoying. And it's like, oh, just be quiet.
Yeah, like I don't mind a little bit of like commentary like here and there, like if you're joking around about a scene that just happened or something, but just like over it about something completely related is a big pet peeve of mine too, because I have big ADHD energy. I can't deal with that much at once, my guy. Please stop.
Yeah.
My parents do this really annoying thing, both of them separately, where we'll be watching something together. Like my dad and I were just watching X-Men: The Dark Phoenix together, like a couple weeks back, and he'll do this thing where he watched Facebook videos on his phone at like full volume right next to me while the movie is playing. I'm like, Dad, I love you, and I'm not gonna say anything because I'm too awkward, but please turn it off.
My father, bless him, he has headphones on, so yeah, it's interesting because I like hearing the story, and when it's a movie or an anime or a show where I want to hear it because then I can figure it out for myself, and then people talk. It's like I'm missing. This is not how I want to experience that moment. It's kind of like if you've ever watched any kind of stand-up shows or anything like that. It's kind of like when you're watching a stand-up show with your friends, and while the person's talking and saying their jokes, when they hit the punchline, someone just turns to you and super loudly goes, "Oh yeah, I remember when I did that," and they start going off on their own fucking story while the comedian's still doing their thing. Ruined. Yeah, and it's like, oh, well no.
Done.
Yeah, you've missed the setup for the next joke. You've missed everything. It's like, oh, you can't do that. You have to watch. It's kind of simple. It's kind of like if I've ever watched any YouTube video. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna press play, I want to press play and watch it, and that's it. I feel like such a douchebag being like that, but like it's just how it goes. I just enjoy. I don't know. I just want to take away from it as much as possible.
Yeah, and
Um,
I don't think that's a douchey thing at all. I feel like it's comes down just to just the kind of person you are. 'Cause
mm,
some people like just sitting down with their buddies and watching something and just enjoying the time together.
mhm.
But some people like just chatting and stuff while the movie is just background noise, which makes total sense. It's just when you mix those two people together, it's
Yeah,
rough. They
it,
need to go do something else.
it's like they need. Well, we need to set boundaries. Like, okay, it's like, okay, we're gonna put this movie on because we've seen it before, so we can chat. If it's a brand new movie, everyone's got to be quiet because it's a brand new movie. Um, yeah, I'm definitely like that. I mean, I can have subtitles on, I guess, but then it's like, do I want the subtitles on? I'm used to anime, I guess, but do I want to? Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I just do, and I'm sure people who listening do the same thing. But I just want to appreciate it as much as possible, you know?
Yeah, especially because you can never really get that first experience again. So you
Yeah,
want to make that first one really good.
yeah, you're absolutely right. What's the show or movie? What's made you like hyper focused on it? So it catches you, and you sort of go, okay, nothing's going to distract me now. I'm just going to watch, and you just become obsessed with that movie or that show. What's the biggest one for you?
That's hard to think about because, especially as a kid, I was more of a reader, so I'd more hyper fixate on books. I've never really like gotten super into shows until I was like older.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think I remember my last like full on binge from start to finish of a show was an anime called Your Lie in April. I don't, you probably heard about it because it made
Your what
Brooks.
what was it called? Sorry,
Your Lie in April.
Your Lie.
In April.
So look, I think I've heard of it. Oh, I've seen the image on Crunchyroll before.
Yeah, it's like the only anime where they actually have lips, which was very interesting.
Oh yeah, that's that's weird.
That's one of the first things I noticed, and that's why I was intrigued by the art because I was like, wait, you can see like their mouths moving
Oh,
completely.
that's oh my god, that's creepy. That's like seriously, that's really creepy because I didn't even think about
You're
that.
just not used to that amount of detail in anime.
Ah, yeah, absolutely. Like I've
It's like
always,
when the men actually have nipples, it's like, oh, hi, that's new.
yeah, nipples and anime. God damn it.
They never have them. So when they do, I'm like, oh,
I
that's a choice.
I feel like I shouldn't be. I'm googling obviously your line April right now. I don't want to be googling anime nipples because this entire show might just be crashed down. Just, I gotta be careful here.
That would be a dangerous decision.
Have you watched Evangelion?
I have not.
It
I've heard all about the story of it, and I know most of what happens.
I I have I only watched it all the way through 2 months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and I wanted to watch it, but I could never find it because in England, on Crunchyroll or Netflix or whatever, we have different things compared to what
Yeah.
everyone else has, and Evangelion was never available for me. So finally, it came on Netflix. I was like, oh, thank God, I can actually like watch it properly. And I watched it, and people jumped on the bandwagon because it's a popular series. But people went into it expecting to be like a really happy anime.
Oh, that's a mistake.
It's the biggest mistake. Like even when I've watched the series. I've watched all the movies. Well, I say all the movies. I skipped to the part where it continues the story. Basically, I've read the manga, and at the end, you're just left there going, "Oh, the fuck happened?" Like you feel weird. You feel kind of empty from it, and it's totally the intention they set for the show. Like it's not a feel good show at all. It has humorous moments, but it's like no. This is about emotion. This is about how can you say it? Just sadness in the end. It's about depression and what people are going through, and it's not a feel good anime. But when you go into it and expect it to be and look at it like that, then you can really appreciate it because if you go into it and you're expecting a really happy time, then you sort of get put off by it. So you've got to sort of know where it's going, in a sense, before you can truly appreciate it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know many animes that are like that, where it is kind of sad in the end.
Well, actually, both of the anime I mentioned to you, Angel Beats and Your Lie in April, made me cry a lot.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Your Lie in April, like I had heard beforehand that it was sad, but me being me, I forgot. So
Uh-huh.
I was wrecked.
I'm trying to think of animes what's made me cry. Quite a few have. There's a moment in One Piece where I'm guessing you haven't watched any of One Piece.
No, a lot of the like big shonen anime that have been going for years, I really haven't. Like with Naruto, I got into it and I stopped after like the first season because it was just a lot.
It's as in is like a lot of episodes or
Yeah. I know everything that happened because I was super into it, but I was like, that's too much time. I got like school.
you want the side notes, but like this is exactly what happens in each season. This is the characters and this is the development in like 1 page documentary document just to let you know. I'm trying to think how many episodes of One Piece there are right now because I'm up to date with a manga, but
I know the manga chapters are like getting to like, aren't they in the 800s or 900s by now?
yeah, they've hit 900 episodes on the anime, and that's just the anime, not any movies or anything like that. God damn it,
Ugh.
I hate pop-ups on Kiss Anime. Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Oh my Christ. Okay, are we good? Okay.
Are you like scrolling through?
No, I'm trying to literally click on the search bar, and it's like, oh, here's some pornography you can watch. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Oh
Like,
no!
like it's all the time. It's
Gotta edit that out.
like in fact, I watched Sailor Moon. Yeah, I remember this. I was watching Sailor. I tried to watch Sailor Moon on Kiss Anime, and it's like obviously a kids show basically, and it comes up with pornography afterwards. Like it's like, oh, click on this, click on that, or um, oh, like really horrible, catchy like taglines where it's like, don't let your girlfriend see this, and don't let your mother see this. It's like Jesus Christ, calm down.
Or
It's
those weird like Brazilian girls in your area. Like weird, kind of racist ads.
absolutely
Uh,
906 episodes right now. Uh, I can't put it on the screen because yeah, it's God. So I can't put it on screen, but I have a row of like ads for games. So one is
oh,
this game will make you crazy. Be sure to be alone, and it's an anime girl in her bra. Um,
mm.
and then you have tempting people for close encounters. Nice. And then there's one what says they try to ban this new sexy game. It's so bad. I hate it. I hate it.
It's like those weird, like this is. Have you seen those Danny Gonzalez videos of like weird Instagram game ads? Because this is exactly the kind of stuff that he talks about in those.
I believe so. I don't think I've watched any of the videos or anything like that, but yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about with the weird videos.
Yeah, like there's one specifically I remember him showing where it's like it's fine on the right side of the screen. It's just like the game, like like an advertisement of it. But
Hmm.
then on the left side, it's just an anthropomorphic bear spanking another anthropomorphic bear.
Oh, it's so
It's like
weird.
like the one being spanked is just crying, and the one doing it is just like staring straight at you through the screen, like making eye contact while just slapping this poor bear.
Oh
It's
God,
so weird.
it's the weirdest thing.
Ah,
Like clickbaiting and all that kind of stuff is so rampant when it comes to that kind of stuff, and it's always the same stuff. It's always the you can't handle this game, ooh, and it's big 18 plus signs everywhere, which is like I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to entice kids to get and watch it because kids are going to find these websites where it's like just literally looking for anime, and then it's like, oh, here's a porn site, here's a porn site, here's a porn site, here's a porn game. Do you want to play this porn game? Anime has porn in it. Do you realize that? It's like, Jesus Christ, just stop. Like, it's
they just
almost
want to give you those viruses or like make you use your parents' credit card information or something.
my biggest pet peeve when it comes to now. I don't know how I'm linking this because I've never clicked on one of those ads ever. But you know when you're on Instagram and you have a game pop up, a game advert pop up, and it looks like hyper realistic, and the trailer for it is beautiful and amazing animation. And you're like, yeah, this looks pretty good actually. You click on it, and then it's like a top down zombie horde shooter where you're just turning around and shooting in one direction.
The
It's
amount of false game advertisements I've seen recently is ridiculous. Like, is this even legal? Like, they're advertising something completely different.
there's from what my brother said, there's no legislations applied right now, so false advertisement doesn't really work regarding phone games. It's different. If you go on Steam and stuff, it's kind of like there. Like you must be, if you're advertising a game, your advert must relate to your game, or at least be an accurate representation of your game. On phones, it's completely the opposite. You do not have to. Your advert can be as nice as it wants, and then your game could be complete dog shit, and it's fine. It happens
That's
all the time.
terrible.
It's because to make a phone game, there's thousands and thousands pumped in every single day. I can say this as well because my brother works for an advertising, like a marketing company, a game software company for mobile phone games, and he's like, yeah, it's constant, like 100 games is released every hour. It's just ridiculously hard to keep on track of that. So they get away with those kind of those kind of adverts.
Basically, the same thing with like YouTube. Like, oh, we can't look at every issue because there's thousands of videos uploaded every second.
Which is it created its own beast in the end with YouTube. Like where when it comes to the did you ever watch that video where it tells you, oh damn it, I can't remember who.
All like the keywords that get you demonetized.
Yes, that was fascinating because I just remember looking at it going, holy shit, so you can't actually, was gay one of them?
Gay was one of them, yeah.
And it's like, oh, so you can't like say gay pride or I love gay pride in your title because it's gonna demonetize it, or my first gay pride experience or coming out as gay. You couldn't even mention, like you could do a coming out video and then it gets pulled because you've used the wrong word.
Which is ridiculous because, like, whenever Pride Month comes around, YouTube is full of it. But when it actually comes to actual LGBT creators, they get the shaft because this algorithm that apparently they have no control over this kind of thing, even though they made it. It's so bad.
Well, the irony is that YouTube was basically taking pride in pride. So like we would talk about anyone who's in the LGBT community and like put the flags up and stuff like that. But then in the background they're demonetizing things. Or still, it's like, oh, so this is something that I kind of have this idea of when it comes to an idea, this kind of opinion, is when obviously gay pride comes around, or gay pride month and everything like that, the amount of companies who jump on the bandwagon because they think it's going to make them more money. It's not because they actually support it, it's that they know it's a quick way to get money. And
Yeah, that's actually a really big discord in the discourse, not discord, in the community is that, oh, this is like great and all, but there's a very fine line between companies that are actually trying to spread awareness and help and the companies that just want to use it as a quick buck.
Oh, you see it all the time, and it kind of becomes like cringy because it's like, oh, well, you're supporting people in that community, but you're also taking advantage of them because you're selling things to make you money. And that's it. Like if it was a case of, let's say, a company does that, but they donate a portion of the profits to some kind of crisis text team or whatever it is, what has something to do with it, that's totally cool. But when I imagine like there's a board of directors who's sitting around a table, like rubbing their hands, going, "All right, guys, gay pride's coming up. Time to make that fucking money. Let's go and like get this flag where." And then it's like, what can we? Where can we paint a flag? Like, where can you
Like, we
paint
need
those
to change
colors?
our logo to make it rainbow on our
Yeah,
Twitter account, and that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. And then, and then shadow banning people who put up gay pride stuff. It's like, the fuck, you just, it's just swimming in irony.
And
And
it's
going on,
even with
please.
the donating thing, it can like it really depends on how much they're donating sometimes, because sometimes they like advertise a bunch like, oh, we're donating some of our proceeds to charity, and then it's like 5%.
Yeah, like, what was it? Yeah. It's a portion of our profits will go here. It's like, okay, well, how much is a portion? Because is it, like you just said, is it 5%? Is it 50%? What are you talking here? What's the actual, what numbers are you working with here? It's like,
Yeah,
okay, I don't
which
know.
is like, I guess 5% is a lot for like the people getting it, because that's if it's a big corporation and they're making a lot of money, that will still be a lot of money going to a good cause. But
Yes.
then it's a way bigger amount going into the company's pockets, and it's a very weird ethical issue that is a lot.
It's an interesting one because it's awareness of people in that community, which is really good. Like, I said this, I think, when I was talking to Space Jelly Beans, where when easily like 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago, regarding the community and my awareness of what it all meant, like I was a absolute dick. Like I'd use like talking to my friends, I'd be saying, "Oh, that's gay" and all that kind of stuff, and it didn't sink into me like, oh, actually, what's that actually mean? Like that's a really like bad thing to say, because you're using that term, what people identify as a way to slander someone. It's like, oh well, let's not do that, because that's going to actually offend people. And the biggest thing for me, and something what I'm really happy about, is from doing this, is my awareness of that kind of stuff is gone up like dramatically, and just understanding people's identities in a sexual way, or just um, what's the other word for it? How you identify yourself sexually, and can't remember
Uh,
can't remember the word.
Romantic. Yeah.
Romantically, well, however your whatever your pronouns are, that's what I'm trying to get at. But like, my awareness of that was so low like a few years ago, but I personally think I've grown way more aware of it. My respect for it all was like way higher than it's ever been before. But it's not that I was this or that, it was I was just not aware of it. And once you're educated in it, it makes a huge difference, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people are so quick to think someone's bigoted or something like that when it's just lack of knowledge. Like,
Absolutely.
it's actually very funny you mentioned this whole story, because I used to be the same way when I was like in fifth grade or so, or
Hmm.
elementary, early middle school. Me and my best friend used to make those jokes all the time. We both are not straight now. Well, we've never been, but we've now realized we're not.
Do you look back at it and go, oh no, oh no, we'll just talk it, we'll just saying stuff, and now with them, oh no.
No, we mostly just look back and we're like, oh God, it was so obvious.
Oh really?
Yeah, especially because my friend, he's a trans man, and we're just looking
Okay.
back like, oh, that like one time my mom bought him a dress, like obviously way before we realized, and he
Of course.
hated it, and now he's looking back like, yeah, now I know why.
Yeah, that's, it's interesting to look back, isn't it? Because
That's why.
I know a lot of trans, I know a lot of trans people, they don't like looking back in the past kind of thing, because it almost equates to dead naming and things like that, if I remember rightly. I don't know, I'm sort of
Mhm.
speaking out of term, I guess, but if I'm wrong in anything, please tell me off if I'm wrong.
No, you're doing good.
All
It
right.
varies from person to person, but for a lot of people, that is something hard to look back on, because
Mm,
Gloria is just telling you like so much stuff. Again, I'm not trans either, so I can't even speak on that. I just know from my friends, and again, my best friend is a trans man, but
mhm. it's
only
it's
people can speak on
it's
some.
interesting, I think. to the fact that he is that the right pronoun?
Mhm.
So for him to look back and just reflect on his life and noticing what he went through, it's like, oh, there was signs I've known for like so long, that I am a man. Like it's really nice to be fair, and it sounds like it was a positive, like a positive thing. Like he was sort of laughing at that moment back then.
Yeah, he's definitely grown a lot from it. It's been, of course, I don't want to speak about his personal
Of
information on the
course.
internet, but it's been a time for him, and I'm honestly really proud of how he's grown because he used to be like this really shy kid. Like one time we both got into the geography bee at our school, but
Hmm.
we were both way too underqualified and didn't want to do it, and he was too afraid to tell the teacher, so I had to say it for both of us, but only
Mm.
one of us could quit, so I dropped out for him because he was just terrified. But now there was this thing at his school where they have they technically have gender neutral bathrooms, but they're basically like way back in this dark corner of the school that no one goes to, and they'd have to go out of their way to get to, which is just, obviously discriminatory in its
Yeah.
placement. And this shy kid I've known for like however many years, like they held up this protest where they took like masking tape and covered all the bathroom signs and put gender neutral bathrooms because it's
Uh,
tape, they can just take it off.
yeah, of
And
course.
the principal like called up their like GSA group and was like reprimanding them and calling it vandalism in front of all those people. My friend told his principal off in front of everyone and just left. And then just like, you've
Wow.
grown so much. I love you.
Oh, that's good. So he's found his voice, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, of course he has to struggle sometimes, but just seeing him grow like that is just, ah, I love my friends.
Does it reflect on you as a person as well? Because I'm assuming that you've grown from this. Because a lot of times when you see someone coming out of their shell or speaking up for themselves or just being a bit more in line with who they are, I guess, because you're proud of them, it's usually a reflection on you as a person too. So do you believe like you've grown as a person too?
I'd like to believe I have. I don't, it's definitely been in different ways because my experience with like coming out was very different to his. His was a lot more stressful because my mom is, she's a, she's very accepting. She's just not very knowledgeable about what's going on. So
Yeah,
it's
of
like
course.
she wants to be as supportive as possible, but she just doesn't get it right sometimes, which I still appreciate a lot.
Mm.
But it was just a completely different experience. So I like to think that I've grown in different ways where I've just because of like I don't want to say because of my mom's ignorance because that sounds mean, but because I had people around me who didn't know as much, it inspired me to like want to know. I've always been a curious kid in general. Like whenever I was bored, I'd read the backs of like cans and just to see what was in them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've just been like a naturally curious person. So
Hmm.
like taking that and making sure that it's about educating myself and like being accepting of others, I think was a really important step for me in my life.
How did it feel when you came out? What one was it? Were your parents first when you came out, or
It's a weird story. I don't want to call it coming out because
okay?
this is really funny. Like it was mortifying in the moment, but it's funny looking back now. And to anyone watching, do not do what my mom did.
Oh
We were
no.
driving we were driving back from school. It was before I had my driver's license. So I was in high school. I don't remember what year this was, but my mom just out of the blue is just like, "So you're straight, right?"
Ah!
And I'm sitting there just like, "No."
Oh wow, wow.
Uh,
What was
she didn't she
so
didn't
so?
believe me.
Wait. As in, she didn't believe that you. What
I'm
are you-
pan for reference. I'm pansexual.
okay, yeah, yeah.
So she was like, I don't know if I think you don't really know, but okay. And she told my dad, and then it was this whole weird thing. Like again, my parents are really chill and accepting,
Yeah.
but it was just she just went about it the wrong way, which I can understand because this is all very new stuff. But oh
Yeah, I think you got to give them a chance to,
yeah,
as you
no,
said, educate, be
yeah,
educated in it
like
all.
it was literally last week or so where my mom was like called me on the phone from like downstairs. She was watching a show about I don't even know what show, but she was just asking me random questions about like gender and sexuality and all that stuff, and I'm just like, oh, you're so wrong about everything you're asking, but you're trying to learn, and I appreciate it a lot. So it's just really
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I believe the first person I actually spoke to about when they use pronouns as they and them was I believe I'm okay saying this actually. Yeah, I'm so sure I am. Was Haley, so Vulpixis, and I had, and this is where it came from me because like, obviously they're a friend of mine, and I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm going to respect whatever you want to use for your pronouns, but the amount of times I'd use the wrong pronoun, and I'd have to catch myself, or people would catch myself, and it was like it sounds really strange, but for me, I had to break the habit of just using he and she, and it took me a long time. So now my go to is to try and I call everyone dudes, and I know some people can go back and forth with that, but like I try and make sure as a base I'll just say they and them, and because I know that's like the safer bet. Would you say when it comes to it?
yeah,
So just again, I'm educating myself on it all, and if I do catch myself using the wrong pronoun, I'll obviously apologize and all that. But it's one thing I'm thankful for Haley is that they were, how can I say, they gave me a chance to learn. You know, they, if I did make a mistake, they let me off from it. Whereas a lot of times, if people, well, I've seen a lot of times, if someone doesn't use the right pronoun, that they're a bad person. It's like, well, no, it's not that they're bad. It's they just don't know any better. It's that they lack in education and awareness.
yeah,
It's not really a sinister thing. They're not doing it on purpose. But to be fair, I do not like it when people will say, "Well, there's only this," and I'm going to call you this because that's what I think. It's like, well, no, because that's you're talking to a human.
with
So
autonomy.
yeah, and it's like just if you're speaking to someone and they identify themselves as whatever it's going to be, well, they're human, so treat them with respect. Like they might not be in line with your ideology of the like this the binary male and female. So that's fine. That's your opinion, yes, but respect other people because in the
Yeah.
end, are they hurting someone? Are they like what one of the big things I've always said is I don't care what you how you identify yourself, what your sexual identity is, or anything like that. My thing is, are you a nice person? Do you treat people nicely? Are you good with other people? There we are. That's it. You're human, and it's like, are you a good human, bad human? That's it. That's how
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. And then obviously I try my best to find out how they identify themselves, but like I do not like it when people are so resistant to the idea of it's not just male and female or straight, bi, and gay. People
Uh,
resist it, and it's like, come on, guys. People, it's just interesting, and I feel like it is going to get better, and I think it is getting better. But I don't know. This is coming from a person who's straight, I guess. But from my
yeah.
perception, it seems like it's getting better. And what do you think actually? Because obviously different points of view. What would you
Well,
believe?
see, uh, bleh. The thing is, I've never had personally much of a bad experience with my sexuality because,
Great.
well, yeah, it's good, but it's also just because since I'm pan, I can date either gender, and I've just happened to I've only dated like two people in my life, but I've only dated men,
Hmm.
so I've never really had like, unless I outwardly tell you, I've never really had someone like outwardly be able to just tell that I'm not straight.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah.
I've never really like, and then when I usually tell people, it's people that I know are chill with it.
Yeah, of course.
And plus, especially, this is gonna sound really like cliche and weird, but since we're in art school, most people tend to like not really care. Like one of my professors, he's like outwardly gay, and he'll sign off his emails with he, him, his in rainbow font just to
Mm,
really nail in the message. I love him.
that's
So
so
I've always
cool.
been just where I live. and the people I've interacted with, I don't really see bigots that often, like in my general life. It's
Yeah.
again, most I see is people who just don't know any better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's hard for me to say because it gets better and it gets worse in a lot of different ways.
Mm.
And I think for a lot of people in a lot of places, it's getting better, and I'm really happy for them. But in a lot of the time, people see like, oh, it's getting better, we're done now, and that's a really
Yeah.
set to happen. I know that's not what you're saying, but I just see that a lot, and it's especially like when people are like, oh, why are you still whining for gay representation? Here's this gay character, this one ticket gay character who's good. You guys are good now.
Yeah. It's like
You see that argument so
we're done.
often.
Yeah. It's like we're on a journey towards it being all sorted, but we're not at a finish line. And
Yeah,
people,
and I don't think it's ever going to be at a finish line realistically.
yeah, I personally don't. I think it's gonna be a never-ending. Not, I'm not gonna say war at all because I don't think it's that dramatic, but it's gonna be a never-ending journey. I feel like because there's so many people and so much variation in humans that you're gonna have people who are gonna be resistant to the idea throughout the entire. I think throughout the entire span of the human race. It's kind of like, obviously how racism was a big thing. What was it, 30, 40, 50 years ago? Like, obviously before that, but when it started changing with Martin Luther King and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
people would have this idea like, oh yeah, well, now that's done. Well, racism's gone now, isn't it? Racism's finished. It's like, no, 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 it still exists. It's,
Buddy.
yeah, it's like, it still happens. And it's, I don't think there's ever going to be a time when it is completely eradicated because humans are so different. You're gonna have people who are racist. You're gonna have people who are against the LGBT community, and it's like, okay, well, what can we do right now? Because that's inevitable that someone's going to be there. Because, like I said, there's so many different people. But what can we do? Are we just going to focus on those people? Or can we look at it as a broad spectrum? Like, is it going to be the world itself is getting a lot better, but we tend to focus on these little tiny areas, and then it's kind of like the media, where they most of the time with the media, they have to get views basically, so they have to focus on negativity. They have to focus on the fucked up things in the world because that's what's going to generate more income for them. And when it comes to again, if you just focus, and let's say you go on YouTube and you literally just Google, or YouTube, you just search racist moments in the world, and you only watch that, you'd think the entire world's fucked because that's all you're focusing on, and
Yeah.
it's still there. It's not that it's not there, but is the world getting better? Are we getting closer to each other? Are we becoming more open? Are we becoming a bit more understanding as a whole, not just isolating an area, if that makes sense? You know?
And I think the bottom line of everything is just educating other people and yourself about the world, about like what's the facts, what's just beliefs, and where are those beliefs coming from, and just
Totally.
getting down to the critical thinking and why of everything. And I'm starting to sound like my art history professor, but it's true. You just
No, it's true. Yeah, you're
you
right.
need to be willing to find things out for like throughout. Sorry, I have like a stuffy nose, but you need to
It's
have
fine.
these different sources in the world and look at everything from a critical eye and really take it in with yourself instead of taking what other people say. Like, you should listen to them, but then don't take it as fact. Think about it. Think about what they said and why they said it. That's
Yeah, I
that's
totally get that.
yeah. That's just how you need to process everything if you want to like prosper as a person.
We try our best, don't we, to not take things straight up. Because if let's say a close friend of yours or mine comes up to me and goes, "That person is this," like you could just literally say that person's a prick. You've never met that person, but through your friend's opinion, they've said they're a prick. So in your head, you sort of go, "Are you a prick?" Like you sort of have to you sort of come from that place to start with. I try my best not to form an opinion without educating myself about that person or that group or that whoever it is. Like, it's hard though sometimes, because if you can't,
Especially if it's
go
coming
on.
from a trusted source.
Yeah, totally. I try, I try my best to, I try my best to stand on the fence when it comes to something before I form an opinion, or when it comes to, yeah, when it comes to anyone. Like, you see it all on Twitter and stuff like that, where on YouTube, where people start calling other people out for certain things, and it's like, okay, the knee-jerk reaction might be that person is a bad person, but then after a while you start to go down the path, and you're like, oh, hang on a second, they're actually, it's been misconstrued, it's been completely misrepresented, and it's like, okay, if I stuck to my, and then what happens is people make that opinion from a knee-jerk reaction, and then they stick to it no matter what evidence is thrown at them or brought or presented to them, because they've already made that decision to have that opinion of them. They don't want to ever change it. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
I gotta. I'm deciding how much I want to say on this because I know I'm probably not gonna get attacked for it, but just in case, I will say that when I was younger, I was a fan of a certain creator who downright terrible in every way possible,
Uh
and
huh.
I didn't realize it for the longest time. And I think one of the biggest like revelations for me as a person, like with that kind of thing, like realizing that I need to look at other things, is when I realized, hey, this person I've been watching for a couple years, they're actually a garbage person.
Mm.
I think
It
you
gone.
might be able to know who I'm talking about, but yeah,
We
and
won't name. I think I know who you're
yeah,
talking about.
hang on. Oh yeah, because you have your screen on. I'll message you later about who it is, but
Oh,
I
no, no,
think
no. I haven't got anything up right now. You can
all
message.
right.
It's
So
totally fine. It's safe. And don't worry as well if it does pop up somehow.
yeah,
Uh,
editing.
hang on. I don't even know who that person is.
You don't know who that is?
I don't think so.
Oh, oh, okay. I'll educate you later about the mess that person is, I think.
I know who it is.
Okay. Okay.
People are going to be watching, going, who? Because because it's so like,
People are so drawn to negativity.
well, it's. I think I've discussed this before, but we're designed to focus on negativity so that we can survive. Think about,
Yeah.
obviously, if you talk about, I don't know, if you believe in evolution or anything like that, like the theory is that the reason why we focus on negativity more than anything is because if we focus on the positive, let's say we are, I don't know, just let's just say we're in a jungle, and we're walking around and you see a giant tiger, what's hungry. You don't look at it and go, that's a really pretty tiger. I love the stripes. It's gorgeous and all that. You go, that thing's gonna fucking kill me. So then you run away. Like, you have to focus on the negative to survive. It's a survival mechanism, and that's why we draw into it more. That's why
Yeah.
clickbait happened, and that's why dramas happened. Like, people started putting up dramas on YouTube and Twitter beefs and stuff, because that's what
Yeah.
got the clicks. And that's when I started. What was it? It was, I think it was PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye. They started doing that like fake beef on YouTube.
Oh yeah. A
But
lot of
then,
people do the fake beef
yeah,
thing.
and then you notice the goddamn views they got, and it's like, wow, it's ridiculous how many views they got for that. And
Yeah, it's like them. It's Jack's Films and Jenna Marbles.
hmm
Like a lot of people do like the fun, like, and some people, like of course when these people do it, they obviously advertise it as a joke. But then there's people who actually fake it just for the
oh,
sake of
oh yeah,
getting those views, and it's like, yikes.
big yikes. It was almost like, this is not I don't think it's controversial. Actually, it could be, because there's a YouTuber called Philly D, or Philip DeFranco. I haven't watched
Yeah,
many of his videos recently, just because it's one of those where, when you subscribe to people but you just don't get around to watching their videos. It's not like you don't like them.
yeah.
It's like,
I
you know,
do this. I have the exact same thing with him. I used to watch him more frequently, and I'm still a sub to him, but it's not content I watch a lot now.
yeah. Well, I remember seeing, I think, there was a video of his where, obviously in the thumbnail it's usually him in the middle doing some kind of pose
Yeah, like him making that face with the red background with like a couple people other.
with one eyebrow up all the
Yeah.
time. But in one of them, he has a picture of Jacksepticeye in the thumbnail, and it got me because I was like, hang on a second. Usually stuff's like something's kind of wrong, if you would, with that person who's in the shot. And I was thinking, okay, well, what's going on then? I wonder what it is. So I clicked on it, and it wasn't actually it. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it was a. Oh, I don't wait. Oh, yeah, that's it. It was literally a picture of Sean, and it attached to it was his tweet where he's going, everyone getting unverified on YouTube today is a slap on the face. I'll send you it as well. Is a slap on the face to hang on. It's a slap on the face, but try not to let you get it down, demonetize you, keep creating and making cool shit. So that was a screenshot of his video. Or no, it wasn't even a video. It was a screenshot of his tweet with a screenshot of one of his videos. And in fact, it's an old video.
What you're talking about.
And all I could think of is, dude, that was clickbait. Like each picture has, if it's got, but it's smart because if he doesn't have, let's say, PewDiePie in the thumbnails, then people aren't going to click as much. And then the thing that he wants to put across, and it could be a really helpful thing he wants to put across, it's kind of like he has to use those images to get people to see what he wants to put across, and in a positive way. It could be a positive thing what he's trying to say, but he has to use clickbait imagery to spread it as much as he can. It's such a weird one.
Yeah, I feel like with clickbait, as soon as you hear it, your knee-jerk reaction is just think, oh, that's terrible, that's crappy, people shouldn't do it. But a lot of the time, it's not always inherently negative. Like, as long as, because you definitely, some people think like the thumbnail is more interesting than the video is sometimes clickbait when it's not, because it's sometimes you think something's pretty and the video is not interesting, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
And you want to have an interesting thumbnail because then people aren't going to click, and it's having that weird ethical balance of like making sure I want people to click, but I also don't want them to feel like that it wasn't worth clicking in the first place.
They say that as long as the video has something to do with the title, that it's okay. This is my kind of predicament with the podcast as well, because obviously it's still really early stages of the podcast. You know, I think your episode 14. Technically, you should have been. Hang on. I think you should have been 14, but then I added in Dukes as well for his charity stream. And Skid Space was supposed to be there last week, but I'm going to be recording with them actually straight after this. But basically, when I'm looking at the thumbnails and trying to think of a thumbnail, I'm like, okay, what should I do? Should I just keep it as episode, let's just say for this, episode 14, and then it's just TeenyTinyDraws? Or should I do a catchy title, then the usual stuff? And it's like, okay, I don't know which one I want to do.
Yeah, especially because with certain videos, like in this one, there's some like hot button topics or some controversial topics that come up that you could include, and then people want to click more. But like you're like, oh, do I want to do that though?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of it's easy views, I guess. But then it's like, is it ethically? Am I ethically aligned to that kind of mindset where I am having to use certain things just to gain something? Because it's like, I say this all the time, but everyone wants their projects to grow. Like, I'd love this podcast to grow, but it's like, okay, there are certain ways you can grow certain things, and the easy path might be to use certain. I could literally write in this as a title like racism and homophobic or whatever it is, like, as a title, and it will get clicks. And it's like, I don't want to do that because that's just not right, in my opinion. You know, that's almost like a company using the gay pride as a way to get money.
Yeah. It's also like when you do stuff like that, it's also, is this the kind of audience that I want to bring in the first place?
Totally.
One of my
Yeah.
friends, he streams, and like one of the easiest streams that you can do to get people to come is Minecraft streams, which he
Uh-huh.
has done a couple times because he has his own server.
Hmm.
But then it just sometimes it just, being blunt here, brings in really annoying, not so completely socially aware 12 and 13-year-olds, and it happens. Like, is that
It
the
is
people who
weird.
I want watching my content?
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
saying all Minecraft people are immature 12-year-olds. I like Minecraft. I'm just saying.
it's fine. Don't worry. Don't
I
worry
know
too
you
much.
know, but I'm just, if anyone's watching, I like Minecraft.
I love Minecraft. Minecraft is like a legit game.
We should play it again. Oh, we should get some of the other.
I think my server's still up. I
You have
think
a server? I did not know.
I think I have two servers up actually going on. Oh God, I need to get rid of them. They're costing me money.
Yeah, if you're paying for realms, dude.
That's what I'm paying for. I'm paying for realms.
No.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
you might want to put a handle on that one, my guy.
I might have to. But this is the thing though. Like as you were saying, there are certain methods you can do to get clicks, and it's even with streams. It's like I want to think of a catchy title, but that's it. I don't really want to say certain things in the title to bring people in. If the it could be a funny one, I guess, or it could be an inside joke with the community. And if it does bring people in, that's great. But like, I don't know, it's a hard one because
Yeah.
people. I feel like people do slip into it. Sorry, go on.
No, I feel like it's also an issue with artists as well, especially online nowadays, because what a lot of people like in those videos you see like 10 top ways to grow your audience and stuff like that. One of the biggest things that people bring up is drawing fan art because
Of
it's something
course,
popular. You get those hashtags in. And it's
yeah,
like, yeah, but if it's something you don't genuinely enjoy and it's the audience you're bringing in is people who want that, then it's weird because you get followers and you're getting likes for those things. But then when you draw stuff that you're actually interested in, no one's going to care because that's not the audience you built in the first place.
yeah. It's very it's a super weird way of doing it because like I mean I know a lot of people who found my channel has been through like my interactions with Jacksepticeye or him liking stuff or commenting back, and then I'm like just saying, oh, if you like him you might like me, you know, and then it grows from there. But yeah, I get where you're coming from when it comes to art because you see it in the likes and then people you sort of build your own grave because it's like, oh well, I got these people in because I drew Sean, and then I get loads of likes. It makes me feel good. Let me try my own thing, and then it gets like 10% of what your fan art got, and you go, shit. I've got to keep. If I want to have that feeling again, I've got to be drawing Sean. And you might be a huge fan of Sean. You might love doing it. But then you're like, but it's not mine. It's not my exact thing. It's not my original. It's not my OC, if you would.
Yeah, or it's like sometimes you just lose interest in something, or like you draw it a lot and you need a break from it. And I feel like you see a lot of creators talking about that kind of thing where, like, I think I've seen Space Jelly Beans and Floating Magane talk about this, where they're expected to draw a certain YouTuber or certain
Yes.
content just because that's what they do a lot of.
Yeah.
But that's not all they have to offer. And I love both those artists. And honestly, a lot of people you have on your show are people I love and adore. But
Aw.
because their art is great, but that's besides
Hmm.
the point. Though it is great, is that they get a lot of popularity from that, and it's people don't take into the fact that they're an artist, and it's not about what like who it's for. It's about what they want to create,
Absolutely.
and like they have so much to offer with like their unique styles and what they do, but a lot of the people that follow saw their art and like, oh, Sean art, okay, that's what I want, give it to me. And
Mm.
it's a really weird beast to deal with. And I
It's,
feel bad because they have such amazing work and they should be known for more than, oh, YouTubers, you know?
yeah. Yeah, I think Joe actually mentioned that when we did record. But that's again, I say this most bloody podcasts, but this is why I wanted to do this podcast because I want the people who are watching to get to know you guys more, not just because of your art, but for you as a person. you know, because like even now, I didn't. What's your How do you identify yourself again? Just so I know.
Uh, oh, like my name?
Uh, Not name as in like. Did you say you're pansexual? Did you say?
Oh, my sexuality. Yeah, pansexual.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
like
you never really knew that before.
no, that's my point. Like it's one of those things where you don't need to announce it to the world because you feel like there's not a need for it. You might have done it on Twitter and I just missed it. I don't know, but like just getting to know you a bit more is like really nice, you know. And
Yeah, I don't think you even knew my real name before today.
no, and it's one of those where I'm like, oh, hang on a second, and well, think about this, Dukes with Dukes. Um, I didn't realize his name was Ryan until Wednesday just gone. No, Tuesday just gone. Tuesday just gone. Like when I was talking to him, I was like, "Oh yeah, I actually never knew your name." And he was like, "Oh shit, really?" It's like, "Yeah, it's
I
how it
always
goes."
figured his name was Duke, and that just he added a Z.
I I I thought his name was gonna be Luke, like Luke Scott. I honestly did because I just thought, okay, well, Duke's sounds kind of like Luke, so let's go. And then he comes up with Ryan, and it's like, oh, I'm completely fucking wrong.
I just got blindsided.
It's just one of those where he's like, you don't really. It's totally fine for it to happen, um, but it's nice to get to know people on a bit more personal level, you know.
Yeah, because with a lot of creators, like you look at their username and then like what their real name is, and you're like, oh, I would not have guessed that. Like you saw my name and you can't tell anything from my username.
No, it's it's just weird. Like even it's weird
But
as well when. Oh, what are you gonna say? Sorry.
I know, just for anyone watching who's like, what are they talking about? My name's Brittany, just so you know.
Yes, yes. And my name is Dave.
Yeah.
The most boring name in the existence.
Hey, well, at least your name isn't kind of a typo, so it's all good.
How do you spell yours?
Oh, Brithanie. It's not that the name was
Okay.
misspelled, it's just for a quick summarization of how my name came about. My family is Puerto Rican for the most part, so it would have been pronounced Brittany over there, but we're in America right now. Well, the
Ah.
States, because Puerto Rico is part of America.
Uh,
But yeah, so my family didn't realize, and by the time we did, we're like, oh, well, that's your name. Have
now
fun.
you're this. That's amazing, dude. That's so funny.
It's a good icebreaker for when I meet people.
Yeah, I mean, I always still find it weird that people will call me Whiskey and people will call me Dave. And like some people call me Dave, some people call me David, some people call me Whiskey. Most people call me Whiskey or Dave. But
Yeah, I go between the two.
yeah, and I don't mind it at all because I find it kind of uh, endearing that people call me by my name, you know. But I remember the first time I made, the first time I created my username, and I tried to get into this like community to grow my own channel, and I was hoping as I was really hoping that as I started my own channel, people would call me Whiskey, and that was my plan. Like, because I thought it sounded cool, you know, because I'm immature and I think Whiskey sounds cool. But then people started calling me Jam Jar and Jam and Jar, and I just remember
I've
thinking,
never heard anyone call you that.
this is before most people who know me now. This is way before most people knew me. But most people refer to me as Jam or Jar. And I remember just sitting there going, that's not what I want. I don't want to be known as Jam. I don't want to be known as Jar. Please don't call me Jam or Jar. But I can't say to them, look, call me Whiskey instead, because they already said it. It's like, hey, Jam. I'm like, fuck. No.
What have I done?
But thankfully, it's worked out. People refer to me as Whiskey, and like if I am watching Sean or anyone in that like people I follow, and I say hey in chat, and they go hey Whiskey, I'm like, oh good, that's nice. As long as they call me Whiskey, it's totally fine.
I've actually had a similar issue with my name, TeenyTinyDraws. A lot of people, I think you might have done it too, is they'll call me Teeny when
Yeah.
usually people will call me Tiny. So it gets
Mm.
very confusing.
I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's because teeny is. I'm going to say like because teeny is a more unique word than tiny.
That is true.
So it's like okay, well, I'll call you teeny because it's a. I don't know. It stands out more. But
Yeah,
like,
I'm fine with
what?
either. I was just expecting Tiny, so because
Yeah, you similar to me. Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because my username came from a nickname that I had like a couple years ago on Amino or something. Like one of my friends would call me Tiny because I'm a physically small person.
How small are you? If you don't mind me asking.
I know, I don't care. I'm like 5'1", so I'm not super
Oh,
tiny, but like he's
Emily's
just a
five
tall
one.
dude.
Emily's 5'1". So don't worry. That's why I'm with
Oh,
her. That's why I'm engaged to her. So I can stand
oh yeah,
next.
you're always complaining about your height.
Always. I don't. No, no, no. I don't complain. Everyone else makes fun of me. But
Uh,
but that's nice. I don't mind that because again, it's like a way for the community to connect. And trust me, like people might think people are being harsh when we're making fun of me. I genuinely don't care, and like I actually enjoy it. For me, it's more friendly to me that you're making fun because I grew up with my friends and we would rinse each other all the time. So if we're saying some certain stupid things or we do certain things that are just ridiculous, they will make fun, and then we go back and forth. Like my the whole my beard thing, as in like people making fun of my beard not existing.
yeah.
That's been going on for about 10 years. So like I'm totally used to it all.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people are. Like with me, I'm the exact same way with my friends. We roast each other all the time. Like it's gotten to a point where, like, when I hear something that my friend says, my first instinct is, "Oh, I can come up with a roast from that."
Yes, yes, exactly. I'm a such a bitch when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Me too. Like,
There's there's um there's a show what I listen to, a podcast what I listen to called a 10-minute podcast, and it's quite old now. It's like 2000. This is like years and years and years ago, but every episode was basically them just rinsing each other, like calling each other names and like one person says they're too old and like we're not going to see you in 5 years because you're going to be dead and like just really harsh stuff. But it's because we're all comedians, so and they're the best friends, they're like super best friends with each other. So when you know that they're only saying it out of jest and they're actually making fun because they love each other, it's so nice and refreshing because yeah, it's just great. And I feel like that's what I want as friends. It's like when me and Dukes as well, like when me and Dukes are chatting together, or just like let's say in when he's playing a game and stuff, we'll be going back and forth and rinsing each other because we're friends. And like people might look at it and go, "Wait, why are you being mean to each other?" It's like, no, 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 no. We care for each other. We're friends. That's why we're making fun of each other.
yeah, that's why I love seeing like the fun back and forth on Twitter that some people have with each other. It's so great. Like Crank Gameplays and Gerbeekly or PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye had to just roast each other all the time. 'Cause, like that's realistic for me. That's what I'm used to when people like portray friendship as like you're always nice to each other no matter what.
Oh, it makes me
Some people are
sick.
like that, and it's great. But like that's not where I'm. Like when it comes to being genuinely nice, like I'll like do nice things. This sounds really like that, like patting myself on the back, but like I'll do nice things for people and stuff like that. But like when I'm just talking and stuff, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, how was your day? I hope you're doing lovely." Like I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, fucker? How's it going?"
Yeah.
That's how I am.
I think with my friends, if we ever go back and forth with each other, the amount of times I'd call them a C word is unbelievable. Like all the time, because it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we're really close friends. We're going to say some fucked up shit with each other,
Yeah,
and
I
we're
also
going to have
feel
a
like
great time.
yeah, that's also a very uh like location based thing because where I'm from in the US, like a lot of people think that's like seriously harsh, but a lot of other people in places like the UK or Scotland are like, oh yeah, that's just
Oh,
what me and my mates call each other. That's what
totally.
happens.
Well, yeah, like saying just saying silly cunt is like super normal in England. Like,
Yeah, and then
and
in America, people like gasp and hold their pearls like you just summon Satan from your mouth.
I was playing Cuphead with Emily last night, and I was playing it, and I said the C word. I think it was like, you, I think I just said, you fucking cunt. And I said it, and Frizz like, yes, it's normal. But then chat was like, oh my God, Dave, like, stop. I'm like, oh yeah.
You American.
But then with Sean, like, he says it all the time. Like, he says,
Yeah, like he has that cup that he'll use. So
yeah,
and videos last night where wherever he wanted to say it, he just lifted the cup.
yes, or he even said it once where he was, I think he was on Moist Critical's podcast, the official podcast. That's it. And then he basically says like, well, people think I'm this angel on YouTube, and like he's a really nice guy, super friendly. And he goes, but I made a video where I called something a porcelain cunt, and nothing. Like, it just blows past because oh, you're Irish, you're fine.
You get a pass.
It's totally because he's Irish. I just realised what it is. He gets away with saying that word because he's Irish. I just realised.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to say it's racist because I don't want to make it a weird thing, but it's kind of is. Like, when you see Scottish and Irish people, like, oh, they curse a lot. That's just what Irish and Scottish people do.
Yeah.
And, like,
stereotyping them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird. And it's also so weird to see when people interact with other, like, nationalities and races because they, like, try to adapt and, like, act like they do, and it just seems so disingenuous. When, like, you see, like, this white, like, Texan man calling a black guy brother or something and trying
yeah. I
it's so weird.
I say brother and bro to just my friends who are like white. Hey bro, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. If I'm ever if one of my friends who's black and I say I kind of feel like I don't know if that's like a weird thing to say, like, oh thanks bro, like it's so casual. But I don't know. I say man all the time, like, oh thanks man, I appreciate that. But yeah, same thing like you're saying, like I'm not trying to do it on purpose to fit in, like, hey, and start putting on like a black accent. Like, that's the worst thing ever. Like, oh my God,
Well, yeah, that was like a thing that people were mad about with like some singer. It was like Ariana Grande or something, like saying that she's trying to act and talk like she's black or something. I'm not saying I believe this. I don't really pay attention to Ariana Grande. I don't care about her, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like, it's a thing that people will get very upset about, and I can get it. It's a very weird thing. I'm just looking on it from just for reference. I don't want to say mixed because my mom's from Puerto Rico and my dad's just from the Virgin Islands, and he is very much black.
Yeah.
And that makes me black, but I feel weird saying it because I'm very light looking.
The fact that you just said he's very much black is such a great term.
Because like some people, are, as I've grown, I've been around older people in school and stuff, so they know now. But when I was younger, people couldn't tell I was black because when you think of a black person when you're younger, like, oh, they are dark skinned,
dark as night kind of thing. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but obviously black people come in a variety of shades, and the curly hair and everything, and people can tell now. But I'm so used to saying like, "Hey, my dad is black" for people to know, instead of saying, "Hey, I'm black," because people don't realize when you're younger. So that's why I said that. I didn't realize I was saying it because my dad is very much black.
Very much black. That's the title. That's the title. We found the title for the. Oh my God, I couldn't do that. That would be a train wreck.
Oh, that would be terrible.
That would be absolute chaos as a video.
Oh.
But it would get views.
It would cause quite a stir, that's for sure. Yeah,
but then it's like I got my white ass on as a thumbnail. Like I'm pasty white. It wouldn't be clickbait because you said it. I'd actually have to. I'd have to put it in the description, like Tiny said it here. Please understand. That's so good. We have to move on to questions, if that's okay, dude.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I'm gonna go on to the Discord, a community Discord, and they've sent quite a few. This is between like you and Skid, so I'm gonna like split it if that's okay.
Yeah, that's all good. Let me poke in there because I'm in your server. Let's see what we got.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you're in here. That's how I found you.
Yeah.
That's how I found you when I wanted to call you. So yeah, podcast questions. Oh, let's do. Oh yeah, this one's good. Maddie, they said to both of us, "What's the spiciest food you've eaten?"
Okay. I know there's probably gonna be some like fellow like Puerto Rican people watching, and they're gonna call me up for, but I don't like spicy food at all.
Why did I guess you were gonna say that? I don't know why, but like at the moment I said what spiciest food you've eaten, in my head I thought you don't like spicy food. I can tell for some reason. I don't know why.
So what would be this like? That's not the question. It's like what spicy food we like. It's what's the spiciest food we've eaten.
Yes.
Um, I don't remember. This. Okay. I have a funny story from this. It's not about spicy food. It's about hot food when I was
Yeah, do
really
it. Yeah.
So, to give you something. All right. So when I was my family, as you can guess before, a lot of their first language is Spanish, but since I grew up in the States, I grew up knowing English. Like I
Hmm.
knew a few Spanish words here and there, and I've taken Spanish from like middle school to high school, but I'm not fluent. But I remember when I was really little, my aunt had made some spaghetti. I actually think it was like Chef Boyardee spaghetti in a can or something. If I'm
Oh
being honest,
no.
she like heated it up for me, and I ate it before it was like cooled down.
Yeah.
And I ate it, paused for a moment, and then just screamed caliente.
Caliente. Wow.
And even though I was like in pain, my aunt was so happy because I had said something in Spanish that was correct.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because obviously it's a knee-jerk reaction, and you go to Spanish. Like, wow, that's actually weird. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause, like I usually don't use Spanish at all, but in that moment I was like trying to whip it out.
Well, in movies, they used to do that where if there's a like an infiltrator, so let's say a Russian spy comes to England and tries to, infiltrate a base, the way to know if they are English or Russian is to pinch them, and if they scream in Russian, they're a Russian spy. So it's weird how that works. Mine was my spiciest food was the goddamn ghost pepper.
Oh, I almost had ghost peppers because my friend had them. He like did a YouTube video eating them with his cousins, and we're like, "Oh, we
Yeah,
should do that together," but we never did. How was
don't.
that?
Oh, death! It was just death. Like, so I've eaten ghost peppers 3 times now. One was at the end of, I think I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I did a live stream about it. And at the end, I
Oh,
got
I think
quite.
I remember that
I
one.
think I got quite drunk, and at the end, I ate a ghost pepper and said thanks to everyone and all that kind of thing. But because I was drunk, it sort of it wasn't as spicy as I thought it was going to be. Then it was a charity stream where it was me, Super Antlers, my friend Jay, and Emily, and we hit a target, a goal, and the goal was you have to eat a ghost pepper. Anyway, comes to it, I'm the hardcore one because I had water. I didn't have milk or anything because I believe if you're going to go for it, do it properly. It's like, if people have.
I remember this very much.
Yes.
I remember being here for that one.
Uh-huh. And basically, I ate mine and I was okay. Ant ate his. No, did he? Yeah, he had water. No, he had milk. Did you just pop a bottle, by the way? It just went on your
My
side.
water bottle.
That,
I was like, you're
it's like,
talking about water, and I realized I haven't drank water in like a good hour.
it does sound like you popped a bottle of wine, like, and then just start necking it. But then,
No, I'm
yeah,
still a baby. I can't
it's
do
fine.
that.
It's all good. But then Jay, he ate half of his because he couldn't handle it. So I, like a dumb fuck, grabbed his and went, "Oh, I'll have yours as well." So I technically had like one and a half in that,
Oh,
and then
dude.
my stomach was in such pain. I had to go to the bathroom and just be like, "All right, I'm gonna get it out because it's either that or for the rest of this stream, I'm gonna be sitting there suffering." And I thought, "Nah, I'm just gonna get it out." But I did eat it, so and then I did it. Was that the last time I ate it? No. When was the last time I ate it? I can't remember now. I swear I ate it for a recent charity stream. Not the last one, but maybe the one before. I can't remember. But yeah, and no. The last stream, I had one of those like really hot, spicy noodles. You know, ramen noodles what you can get,
Oh,
and it's famously spicy, and I loved it. It was so good, and like
oh, I
yeah,
always feel like those are really gross.
it was good. Like if you do it properly,
Maybe it was the
it's super
brand you
tasty.
get.
Possibly. Sometimes they just go for. I was about to say they just go for like the spiciest thing and that's it. But do you watch the hot ones, as in the hot wings interviews?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen a couple. They're funny.
Some of the best videos you'll ever see on the internet. It's really good. I'd recommend it to anyone. Like watch.
They're really
Now,
good.
yeah, now
And
we
some of
feast
the
for hot ones.
plus the edits that people make of it is always really funny. Like, was it Shaquille
Shaq.
O'Neal?
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're on about. Where he's like, ooh, I mean, he gets turned into Thanos, doesn't he, as well?
There was like so many different versions of that one. If you want to know how good Hot Ones is, just watch the edits of that.
Yeah,
It's
that's so true.
so good.
Because they always come in like super cocky, like, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's easy." You know, and all of a sudden we go, you just hear them go. It just like breathe out for a second, and like, "Oh, here we go,
And you're like,
baby."
oh,
And the
he's
music
going
goes,
through it now.
and the music goes, dum when it goes into them, when it starts getting hot. It's so good.
It's okay. I know what sound effect you were talking about, but I also just heard like the Law and Order just dun
Ah! Dun dun
That's
dun dun
funnier.
dun. Meow. Dun dun.
Wait, okay,
So
this is
good.
really random, but have you seen that Sesame Street Law and Order skit that they did? Because it's so funny.
No, I'll definitely check it out though. I
I'll
can't put it
send that
on.
to you
Yeah,
afterwards.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
but oh, it's so funny. Guys who are watching, just look it up. Someone from my college in the lounge showed it to me. It's the funniest thing.
Ah, so good. We've only got time for one more. We've already been talking for an hour and a half.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's gone fast. So we spoke about the hottest thing. Now let's talk about it could be the coldest thing, I guess. But what's your favorite dessert?
My
This is
favorite
from
dessert.
Nightmare Wolf. Wolf.
Uh, this isn't really a cold dessert, but my favorite is definitely cinnamon rolls.
They are very good.
But especially because you can eat it in the morning, you can eat it after dinner because it's a roll. So technically, you
Wait,
get the excuse.
wait. You have it for breakfast?
Not often, but it's an option.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I could not think of like anything worse than waking up and having something so sweet.
Well,
Oh,
sometimes at Starbucks they have these things called morning buns, which is like a roll in cinnamon, but it doesn't have all the cream on it. So that's like a doled down version of it.
healthier version.
Not healthy,
No, of
but
course not.
definitely like less sweet because it's just like a roll with cinnamon, basically.
It's a sadder version of it all. Have you ever had a Cinnabon?
What's the difference?
I think that's what it is, but like the brand is Cinnabon.
Oh, cinnamon. Yeah, we have one at like the small that we go through sometimes, and that's like the only one near me. But not every time we go there, but it's either the pretzels there because they have like those little cinnamon pretzel balls that are really good
Yes,
at that mall,
yes.
or they have the Cinnabon, and I'm always like one or the other.
I've
Usually the pretzel.
I've literally only had one Cinnabon in my entire life, and I almost threw up because it was so sweet. And this is from me because I love sweet stuff. I like really sickly stuff. Like I love chocolate, and like I could eat. For example, on cheat days, I'll get those like sharing bars of chocolate, like where it's supposed to be like share amongst your friends and stuff. And I'll
And then you
just
go.
all the time. And thankfully, I've been eating way healthier. But oh man, I eat like I'm an absolute pig when it comes to sweets and when it comes to
See,
chocolate.
I really like chocolate, but I really dislike Hershey chocolate, which all my friends think is really weird. But Hershey chocolate just tastes like the cheapest chocolate to me, and I
It's
don't like it.
yeah, it's really. I remember because it's like an American one, isn't it? Really, but
Yeah, I think so, because they have like Hershey Park and all that.
yeah. Because there was an American section in certain shops and Hershey's bars. There, it's like, oh, I've heard about Hershey's. Let's try it. And I ate it. and I was like, what the fuck's the point of this?
It
It's like
feels like the most generic brand of chocolate that you can get. It's not like
it was
I do
like,
like their cookie and cream ones. I like better, but
but the
they're
actual
not.
chocolate itself is like tasting the bottom of a shoe. So like. Yeah, it's not the best chocolate at all. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I have so many desserts what I like, but I feel like my go-to dessert would probably be, I don't know. Like sometimes I like Bakewell tart with custard. Is
Ooh.
that the most British thing in the world? I just said, by the way. That sounds very British.
Well, it sounds very, very British, yeah.
Bakewell. I've actually got Bakewell tart downstairs, like for tomorrow as well. Or I go for
You
something
usually hear about
else.
tart in British terms. We don't really have many tarts in America. Like we have apple tarts sometimes, but it's kind of
Apple
it.
pie is so damn good. Holy shit!
I've
Like,
never actually had it.
how dare you? I'm so offended.
We just don't have it much in my house. We usually have pumpkin pie,
Never
but
had
we've
pumpkin
never.
pie. I'll have
Okay,
to
well
try.
there you go then.
Pumpkin pie is American. Bakewell tart is British.
But
Pumpkin pie
yeah.
is the British. Yeah, it's the American Bakewell tart. That's what it is.
But yeah, my top two are probably cinnamon rolls and crepes.
Oh, crepes,
Every time
very
I go to
nice.
IHOP, crepes. Is IHOP an American thing? I feel like it's a very
Yes,
American thing.
International House of
Yeah.
Pancakes. Yes, it is. Yeah,
Even though it's called international, which is bullshit, but okay.
but yeah, it's very good to be fair. I like pancakes a lot. I have to stack it up with like chocolate and bananas and caramel and all that kind of stuff. But
Oh yeah,
God,
no,
I'm
I
such
don't
a
even go
pig.
for the pancakes. I go for straight for that sweetness. I get those strawberry and cream crepes and go off.
You're making me
Mm.
hungry. All right, dude. I'm gonna have to finish
I
this
haven't.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm hungry now. I
Yeah.
haven't eaten, and it's a different time for me. It's only like 11, so it's not that bad.
You got time for lunch, so it's all good. It's all good. All right. Is there anything else you want to say, Tiny, before we finish?
Uh, that's like a very big question. Like the ending note. I think since this is like basically on like about being creative and stuff, I just want to say, especially now that it's October, like we're halfway through, but don't for any artist who's watching this, if you're like seeing all this stuff about Inktober and people creating stuff all the time, or even just on the internet in general,
Hmm.
do not feel intimidated by it. I know it's hard. I'm going to art school now, and I see a bunch of amazing artists all the time. Don't
Mm,
feel like you can't create because other people are creating, because everyone's on a different step in their artistic career. And a lot of people like creating different things. There's abstract artists, there's realism, surrealism, so many different things you can do. Just create for yourself and the people that you care about, and just stop worrying about being the best, because
totally.
that's just going to be different to everyone. This is super cheesy, but I feel like it's really important to nail this in, especially in like the internet age, which makes me sound super old when I'm like not even legally an adult yet. But
No, what you said was wonderful, dude, and I think that's gonna help a lot of people. So, yeah, that was a good way to finish it, honestly. And just keep up the good work as well. I love seeing your work as well. So, yeah, thank you for coming on. It's been really fun, real fast as well. But yeah, really fun podcast, dude.
yeah,
So
that
thanks for
went
coming
by
on.
fast. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
realize
went
it was
by
like almost
real
two
fast.
hours now.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like. Make sure you comment as well if you want to. Share the video and make sure you find Tiny at TeenyTinyDraws, and that is on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere else.
Twitter, Instagram. I have a Tumblr, but I don't really use it.
So
So
Twitter and,
mainly
and
Twitter and
Instagram.
Instagram,
Cool.
mainly.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next episode, and all we got to do now is say bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.